Okay. South Florida has experienced flooding. What?
Tonight on NewsVision.
Record-breaking rain in Fort Lauderdale. Over 2 feet of rain floods roads, strands residents in their homes, and leaves Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport closed until tomorrow morning. I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl, and I'll break down why and how this massive storm pounded the South Florida city.
Plus, a new cycling league hosted its first ever race on Miami Beach last weekend, and it's already making history.
When we come into town, not just have a bike race, but really activate the community around health and wellness and cycling.
And later on, is this the future of fast food delivery? Residents in one local neighborhood may get a surprise the next time they open the door.
You don't have to deal with that interaction of, getting your food delivered. For me, and I'm sure a lot of people, you just like to see it, delivered.
South Florida has experienced flooding from what might be a once-in-millennial rainstorm. That's how a National Weather Service meteorologist has described the rare storm in Fort Lauderdale that subsided this morning. More than 20 inches of rain fell in less than 24 hours, possibly approaching hurricane levels. Flash flood emergencies were in effect throughout the city last night, and flights out of Fort Lauderdale International Airport have been canceled, and thousands of vehicles across Broward County are submerged in water. And with that, we welcome you into tonight's episode of NewsVision. I'm Cal Friedman.
And I'm Bella Papaduke. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Florida Highway Patrol has closed several exits along I-95 near Fort Lauderdale and has asked residents to avoid driving amid the storms.
That's right, Bella. And here in Coral Gables, officials are working on 2 water main breaks.
Our meteorologist Charlotte Carl joins us live to fill us in on this record-breaking rain. Charlotte, what do we know?
Well, we do know that we have been smashing records yesterday at the Fort Lauderdale Airport, and now this isn't exactly confirmed, but the initial recordings are 25.91 inches of rain. Now, the previous record is about 10 inches lower than that, and that was set back in 1979, so definitely a historic event. Now, let's take a look at the radar recap. So we had this massive stationary front that started just parked over South Florida. So we all saw rain throughout the morning and into the early afternoon. But once we got to that 2 p.m. mark, we saw this supercell just park over Fort Lauderdale. It resulted in not one, but 2 tornadoes in that area. EF0s have been confirmed by the National Weather Service. And throughout the Miami-Dade region and Broward County, we saw rain totals in the 2 feet to 1 feet region. Now, those counties saw record rainfall, and this week it left major damage on the city's roads. Cars were left submerged in the aftermath of the storm's flooding. Police in Broward County responded to emergency calls throughout the night, with officers spread across the Fort Lauderdale area.
We ran hundreds of water rescues in Broward County for people. Now, the majority of these people that were trapped and required rescue were actually in their vehicles.
Fort Lauderdale City Hall was left without power last night. Here in Miami, copious amounts of rain also fell, resulting in stalled traffic along US 1. A warm front coupled with that opposing level upper flow caused the supercell to stall over the Fort Lauderdale region. A strong sea breeze also pumped the moisture into the storm throughout the afternoon. Unfortunately for residents of Fort Lauderdale, there's more rain on the way. Coming up later, I will track when the next chance of rain will arrive.
Thank you, Charlotte. And breaking right now, the Florida House has passed a bill that would ban abortion after 6 weeks of gestation, and it's called the Heartbeat Protection Act. Governor Ron DeSantis has already said that he will sign the bill into law. The Heartbeat Protection Act includes exceptions for women in life-threatening harm while pregnant, as well as victims of rape and incest until up to 15 weeks. This comes amid ongoing protests across the state. And across the U.S., other abortion battles are being fought. A federal appeals court has frozen part of a Texas judge's order that would have suspended the FDA's approval of a popular medication abortion drug. The New Orleans-based 5th U.S. Circuit Court partially blocked a Texan judge's ruling that abortion pill mifepristone should be banned. The court's ruling allows the drug to remain available but has restricted ease of access. Earlier today, the Biden administration said they disagree with restricting access and will ask the Supreme Court to intervene.
We believe that the law is on our side and we will prevail. So that I can reassure the American people that is our commitment to women, millions of women across the country, and also providers who are at the front lines, working every day to make sure that women are able to make decisions for themselves about their own body.
Medication abortion makes up the majority of abortions obtained in the U.S. It has become a flashpoint in the abortion legal battle since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last year, a precedent that protected abortion rights nationally.
Sexually transmitted diseases are at an all-time high, with the CDC reporting 2.5 million cases in 2021, and it could get worse. Chlamydia has accounted for more than half of the reported cases, and syphilis showed the most drastic surge, up 32% for the year. Most are alarming, the rise in syphilis infections passed from pregnant mothers onto the babies in the womb. In 2021 alone, congenital syphilis caused 220 stillbirths and infant deaths. The CDC says decreased funding for public health has made it harder for people to receive testing and treatment for STDs.
Coming up, time for a break, but when NewsVision returns, hear the chilling 911 calls and voices of the victims impacted by the deadly Louisville bank shooting. Stay with us.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now? Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Louisville residents are mourning the victims of a deadly shooting on Monday at Old National Bank that left 5 people dead and another 8 injured. And now we are hearing the voices of people impacted by the shooting in their first calls for help. The Louisville Metro Police Department released 911 calls made during the shooting, and we have to warn you, what you are about to hear is disturbing.
911, Operator Frost, where's your emergency?
The 911 calls came in one after another.
911.
Panicked callers.
Get here now. We need somebody
Okay, what color?
now.
Okay.
Saying they'd witnessed a mass shooting at Old National Bank. One caller watched it unfold on a video call. Another called, hiding in a closet.
Has anybody been shot? Yes.
Louisville police officers say within 3 minutes of the first calls, officers arrived. About the same time they did, gunman Connor Sturgis' mother called 911.
I don't know what to do. I need your help. I think he's never hurt anyone. He's a really good kid. Please don't come up to him.
You don't believe he owns guns?
I know he doesn't own any guns.
Police say Sturgeon had legally purchased a gun days earlier. His family says in a statement he had mental health challenges they were actively addressing, and there were never warning signs. One of the 5 victims killed in the shooting was a friend of Kentucky's governor.
This person murdered my friend. But still, I can't imagine how his parents must be feeling right now.
Roughly 9 minutes passed from the first shots fired to police confirming the gunman was down. Police have released 12 calls since that time.
We see a cop down.
Eyewitnesses trying to find the words for what they had just seen.
Officer Nicholas Wilt is the voice referenced in that final 911 call excerpt that you just heard. He is still hospitalized in critical condition. His officer trainer, Tori Galloway, suffered a minor bullet wound in the shooting.
2 videos have emerged on social media claiming to show Russians beheading Ukrainian soldiers. The videos of 2 separate incidents were filmed at completely different times, and they only surfaced within the past week. In response to the videos, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called upon world leaders to react.
This video showing the execution of a Ukrainian prisoner should be seen by the world. This video shows Russia as it is. What kind of creatures are they? They don't care about a human being, a son, a brother, a husband, someone's child. This video shows Russia trying to make it a new normal, this habit of destroying life.
European Union leaders have pledged to hold those responsible for war crimes in Ukraine to account.
U.S. President Biden is visiting Ireland and Northern Ireland this week to meet with political officials. The main purpose of Biden's visit is to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday peace deal. The United States helped negotiate the deal that ended 30 years of conflict in Northern Ireland. Biden celebrated this with a speech at Ulster University, where he urged leaders to resolve the ongoing political crisis and keep the positive energy that has begun to fade.
So let's celebrate 25 extraordinary years by recommitting to renewal, repair, by making this exceptional peace the birthright of every child in Northern Ireland for all the days to come. That's what we should be doing.
President Biden will remain in Ireland until Saturday and will be making visits to the towns where his ancestors lived as well.
University of Miami medical students and faculty hosted the 11th annual SunSmart 5K last Saturday to raise awareness for skin cancer. I had the chance to attend the event and find out why the cause is so important to runners. It was an exciting day for student Olivia Burke when the student organization SunSmart hosted its annual 5K run.
So I'm a second-year medical student. I love dermatology, and this whole race is just about raising awareness about skin cancer. All the funds are going to go towards skin cancer research.
Olivia was one of the participants in the event on Saturday, April 8th at Bill Baggs Cape Florida State Park after a 3-year-long COVID hiatus.
It's our first time back, and we just can't wait for it to get bigger and better, and for people to really know more about our cause and what we do.
According to the Skin Cancer Foundation, it is the most common cancer in the U.S., but when detected early, there is a 99% survival rate.
I think that a lot of people think that skin cancer isn't a big deal, and they don't think of it as a big threat, but melanoma can kill people, so I think it's important that people get a better understanding, especially considering how prevalent skin cancer is.
And that's exactly what appealed to the winner of the race.
Yeah, I've actually never got a skin cancer screening, so when I saw that as an added benefit, of course I'm going to take advantage of that.
Just like Andrew, all the runners were able to get a free skin cancer screening after finishing the 5K.
I think that there's lots of education that can be done in person. You have tons of resources here. You have tons of medical students. You have doctors, residents here.
If you have never been screened for skin cancer, some ways you can check yourself include being aware if you see something new, changing, or unusual on your body. And if you see something, get it checked out right away with a board-certified dermatologist. The Skin Cancer Foundation says in the U.S., more than 9,500 people are diagnosed with skin cancer every day. And Floridians are at an increased risk for skin cancer, along with runners, because of sun exposure. This is why a portion of the race proceeds went towards melanoma and skin cancer research at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center.
Bella, that is a phenomenal story, but the only question I have, how did you see sun this last week? It's been raining all week.
I feel like we haven't seen much sun lately, but let's see if we're going to get any more sun this week. Here again is our meteorologist, Charlotte Carl, with more. Is there any more rain in the forecast, Charlotte?
Well, yes. Short answer, yes. We are taking a live look at our radar outside, and there is currently some rain outside, and we've been hearing claps of thunder here in the studio. We also see several tornado watches up near the Orlando region along the coast. And taking a little bit of a closer look into the Miami region, we do see several cells continuing to develop after some of those warm afternoon temperatures really gave some fuel to those storms. Now let's take a look at that future radar. Those storms are going to fizzle out pretty fast overnight, but another round arrives tomorrow afternoon. Again, those fizzle out overnight into Saturday morning, and another round comes in the afternoon. So we have a wet weekend, but not a complete washout, so that's great news. But today into tomorrow, because of all of the rain we have received, we do have a slight risk of an excessive rainfall outlook, meaning that there is a relatively high potential that we could see a flash flood watch to a flash flood warning here in Miami-Dade. This also means that we could see some thunderstorms. Now, this is different than just your rainstorms. We could see some strong winds, potentially even some hail with the weather in our region. Now, I know rainy season is on our mind, but hurricane season is also upon us. Colorado State has forecasted a slightly below average hurricane season with 6 hurricanes slightly below their average and 2 major hurricanes also below their forecasted average. For this weekend, we have nice weather, although we do see those passing showers in the afternoon following those warm temperatures. And as we look ahead to the beginning of next week, we also see a chance for some isolated showers. Wyatt?
Charlotte, thank you. Still ahead tonight, Miami men's and women's basketball's leaders on the court are looking ahead to what's next after Miami. Plus, spring football is wrapping up before year 2 of the Mario Cristobal coaching era this fall. We're bringing you everything going on from the hardwood to the turf after the break.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches? Ready? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Wyatt Kopelman. Miami men's and women's basketball made history this past month, going to the Final Four and the Elite Eight for the first time in school history. But now the programs are saying goodbye to their senior leaders on the court. The Phoenix Mercury of the WNBA drafted graduate forward Destiny Harden with a 27th overall pick on Monday night, after Harden made the All-ACC team this season. And for senior forward Jordan Miller, NBA draft experts expect the teams to draft former George Mason transfer Miller in the mid to late second round of the NBA draft.
I don't think it's been too hard. I've put a schedule for myself just because I'm a scheduled type of person. I like to know my next move. I don't like to, just wake up and I know what's going on. So I kind of been planning out my weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is I just need to show them that I can shoot the 3-ball consistently. I don't mind. I mean, my numbers were up from last year. I still believe I'm a better shooter than my numbers shown.
And as Harden moves on to the next step in her basketball career, 2 of her teammates are also moving on from college basketball after 4 years on the hardwood. Twin guards Haley and Hannah Cavender announced on Tuesday by Twitter that they will not play for Miami again next season. But the Gilbert, Arizona natives each had one more season of eligibility left from the NCAA due to the season affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Cavenders did not say what their next part of their lives would involve. And moving from the basketball court to the streets, cycling has taken shape in a new way this spring in Miami, with a league that looks to go beyond the city. Ryan Marshall has the story.
Last weekend, over 100 professional cyclists hit Ocean Drive to compete in a brand new league. The National Cycling League, also known as the NCL, hosted their first ever race, the Miami Beach Invitational. The NCL is the first professional cycling league in the world that focuses on the fan experience.
So we're trying to formalize it just like any other professional sports league to make it followable, to make it accessible to fans.
On race day, fans got the chance to ride on the same course as the pros, watch a BMX bike showcase, and enjoy a fan zone that had food and drinks, but most importantly, a prime view of the finish line.
So the idea is when we come into town, not just have a bike race, but really activate the community around health and wellness and cycling. There are hundreds of thousands of cyclists right here in South Florida, and so we want to give them an ability to cheer.
Cyclists completed 25 laps between Ocean Drive and Washington Avenue, a 1-mile loop that passes through some of Miami Beach's most popular tourist destinations. And the NCL uses a unique scoring system that is different from traditional cycling. Cyclists can win points for their teams after each lap, and the league also tries to create greater gender equality by requiring each team to have 6 men and 6 women.
It's a points race, so every lap has points, and it's a cumulative score between both the men and the women, so that it should be equal value of the women's team and the men's team.
The league may be young, but it is already making history. The NCL is the first American sports league where both women and minorities make up the majority of team owners.
These generations of black and brown, boys and athletes and women have grown up saying, I want to be professional athletes, but they haven't been able to say, I want to be an owner, because there aren't really any owners that look like them. So we're really trying to change that narrative and inspire the next generation.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ryan Marshall.
Ryan, thank you. And with spring football coming to a close, the Miami Hurricanes are preparing for what's ahead in the second year of the Mario Cristobal era, as the team has not one but 2 coordinators on the field. 2022 was a year filled with learning for Mario Cristobal in his first year as Miami's head coach. And now both of last season's Hurricanes coordinators are coaching at other schools, while Cristobal hasn't wasted time building relationships with new ones this spring.
They have to be great leaders. They have to force the issue of culture, right? They have to make sure that it is implemented in everything we do on a daily basis, that our workouts look like we're there, that their player-led practices look as if it's coaches running it. We have to continue to take steps as a program.
For Miami's defense, Louisiana native Lance Guidry as the new defensive coordinator. And the former McNeese State defensive back has an All-American to help bring physicality to the field this season.
He brings a lot of energy, and he's a safeties coach too, so we kind of get that energy 24/7. And he's similar to Coach Adal. Like, he doesn't let us fall off at one point. Like, he always on you. He's like a fire right behind your butt, so you're always on your feet.
And from the other side of the Creole State, a new quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator in Shannon Dawson to lead a Miami offense with the 5th lowest scoring offense in the ACC last season.
He just lets the quarterback play with freedom. You just have fun out there with each other. It's not just hardcore all the time. I mean, sometimes they'll get on you, but it's really about just having fun out there.
But without a structured system and accountability between the coordinators and their players, Cristobal says Miami will lack any sense of progress at the team's spring game this Saturday at Drive Pink Stadium.
We're going to play football. We are. How exotic it'll be depends. There's going to be some stuff that's a lot of fun and some other stuff you're going to hold back. We're going to play football. We're not going to hold an open scrimmage and spring game and not go out there and play ball. Our fans deserve that.
Playoff basketball is around the corner here in Miami, and one former Heat NBA champion is on campus tonight. Former All-Star and member of the Miami Big Three, Chris Bosh, is meeting with students as part of a student government event called What Matters to You. For more, Daryl Barnes joins us live from the Shalala Center. Daryl, what is Bosh bringing to Miami here in tonight's meeting?
Why, it is not just another day inside the Shalala Student Center. That's because behind these doors, yes, about 500 students are having a great Q&A with NBA and Miami Heat legend Chris Bosh. Now, I talked to Bosh beforehand, and he said his message today is simple. Be able to look back, appreciate the glory days, but also move forward. That's his message, especially to students nearing graduation. He said, of course, I love talking about winning those 2 NBA championships down here with the Heat, but I'm also focused on things going past life after basketball. So that's entrepreneurship, being a father, and he wants students to find that thing to keep moving forward in after graduation in May. Now there's about 10 minutes left inside. I'm gonna head back in, catch the end of it. So live from the Shalala Student Center, Daryl Barnes, UMTV.
Time for another break, but still ahead, we'll introduce you to one woman that has helped save over 10,000 puppies. Don't go away.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff.
That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Uber Eats is taking to the sidewalks with AI robotics company Cartken to test out their fleet of delivery bots in the heart of Dadeland. And as Finn Wilson shows us, Miami residents are welcoming the ease of delivery.
Zooming past your traditional food delivery service, Uber Eats autonomous robots are taking to the sidewalks to get you your food at an easy 3 miles per hour. Jean-Paul Raffles, a resident of the Dadeland area, uses Uber Eats regularly and has seen firsthand what AI has to offer.
And it works, you know, if I'm getting it delivered directly to the location I want it to, it's doing its job perfectly, so I see no reason why not to.
These grass-fed couriers are made by AI company called Cartken that has a 1-year pilot program agreement with Uber Eats in the Dadeland area.
You know, it works much like an Uber Eats order in general. You know, you have the option, if you're in the geo zone, to ask for an autonomous courier.
So let's say you're doing a group order, and the order turns out a little bit bigger than you expect. Well, don't worry, the robots have you covered.
It's a 75-pound robot that's locked in, insulated to make sure that your food and meals are either stay warm or stay cold based on what you order. It makes sense. Like if you're just ordering one order for one merchant, there is like plenty of space for the merchants that we've currently partnered with.
Like traditional forms of delivery, ordering food on demand comes with its pros and its cons.
You don't have to deal with that interaction of, you know, getting your food delivered. For me, and I'm sure a lot of people, you just like to see it, you know, delivered, it's there. If there's any issues with rain or weather, perhaps the robot might not make it in time, any external factors like that, but aside from that, it's pretty good.
But what does this mean for the future of human delivery drivers?
I think, you know, 10 years from now or a year from now, we'll have, you know, much more couriers than we ever have on Uber Eats in the Miami market. And, you know, I look forward to hopefully having autonomous vehicles complement those efforts in efficient ways.
The pilot agreement runs through the end of the year, and if successful, you can expect to see these delivery robots around other parts of Miami. In Dadeland, reporting for UMTV, I'm Finn Wilson.
Miami-Dade County is home to tens of thousands of homeless pets. And with the county shelter claiming full capacity for years, one rescue has stepped in to help. Miami native Carol Caradad owns the no-kill animal shelter called Paws for You. Carol says she wanted to create a place for homeless animals after she rescued an abandoned puppy that was freezing and alone. But finding a place to host the rescued animals was a challenge. And at one point, Carol had to keep the dogs in a car to prevent them from being euthanized. Eventually, she took over a kennel and turned it into a shelter. Here, Carol and her staff take care of thousands of cats and dogs that are sick, injured, or at risk of being put down.
We spent about $85,000 last year just in medical services, and then about another $60,000 in just supplies, medical supplies. The numbers really show you where the donations and money goes, right? Little guys like you.
The Paws for You shelter opened 15 years ago, and during that time, the heroes there have rescued and found forever homes for some 12,000 animals.
And finally, the rain was not the only record-breaking thing this week. A puppy named Pearl has broken the record for the world's shortest dog. She is related to the previous record holder, and both pint-sized pups had the same owner. Pearl is a Chihuahua who was born in September 2020. She measures up to 3.59 inches and 5 inches long, meaning she is smaller than a popsicle stick. According to her owner, Pearl's small size does not stop her from having a big personality. Her owner likes to call her a diva, as she is picky and loves dressing up. The two of them live in Orlando, Florida. Now, I don't understand how something that small can have that big of an attitude.
So cute. She was as big as a TV remote.
And so sassy. The personality was much bigger than the TV remote.
You guys think she can unclog pipes? I mean, she'd do it at a great rate.
That's a good idea.
Right? Pipe cleaning.
Figure that out.
Especially with all the rain here in Florida, you know? Something like that. Yep.
And that's all the time we have tonight for NewsVision.
We'll see you back here at the same time next Thursday. Stay safe and have a good night. I know we had 30.